Hello everyone and welcome back. In this tutorial we will be creating a cyborg drawing in Adobe Photoshop. Before we get started, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on your notifications. Create the background. Start by creating a background. Choose a dark blue color and use the bucket tool to fill the background. Open a metallic texture that you can easily find online. Drag it onto our project, resize it, and change the blending mode to hard light. Use the lasso tool with a high feather value and draw a circle in the center of the document. Use the brightness and contrast adjustment to make the image lighter. Now use the blur filter to blur the texture. And if you like, lower the opacity a little. Create your cyborg drawing. I've created a sketch in Illustrator, which I'm going to drag onto my document. You don't have to do a sketch, you can just start drawing without guidelines. Select the pen tool and make sure shape is selected in the top bar. And start creating your shapes. Our drawing is about to get really messy because for each part of the drawing we will be creating a different shape. So we're going to end up with a bunch of layers. I am going to give each shape a different color, so that should help a little. Okay, I'm almost finished. I'm just going to add these final little retouches, and we are done with the tracing part. Now you can see what I was talking about when I said this is going to get really messy with a bunch of layers. But don't worry, because we are going to select all of the layers and merge them together. Color and texture. Open the metallic texture and drag it onto our document again. Turn off the texture layer visibility. Then select on our merged layer, which I have called that, and use the magic wand tool to select one of the shapes. I'm going to start with the head. Go back to the texture layer, turn on the visibility, and press Ctrl J. Now we have a piece of the metallic texture that has the same shape that we selected in a new layer. Repeat these steps until you have a new texture layer for each shape of the head. Now select one of the shapes. Let's start with the main head one. Select the lasso tool, enter a feather value. Now decide where your light is going to be coming from, and based on that, select the part of the shape that you want to make lighter, and then the one that you want to make darker. So select it with the lasso tool, then go to Image Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast, and make the zones that you want lighter, lighter, and the ones that you want darker, darker. Apply the brightness and contrast to all the other shapes, keeping it uniform, remembering where the light is coming from, so you start giving it kind of a three-dimensional look. So when you're done adding the brightness and contrast to the shapes, we are going to balance out the colors. So since the background is blue, we want to give our shapes kind of a bluish color as well. So go to select one of the shapes, go to Image Adjustment, and Color Balance. Give each shape a slightly different color tone. Use the Magic Wand tool to select the viewer. Create a new layer and fill it with the Gradient tool. Use a cyan color for the light part of the viewer, and then use black for the dark part. Use the polygonal lasso tool and the blur effect to create some highlights. I'm going to create some more highlights by using the pen tool. So create the line, then select the brush tool, select the type of brush and the brush size and the color, then go back to the pen tool, right click on your line and select stroke path. Make sure you select brush, and it will create a line by using the brush settings. Make sure when you stroke the path that you're on a new layer. Also, use the blur effect to slightly blur your line. Use these tools to add highlights and shadows to the rest of the drawing. Create the body. Use the same steps to create the body. Use the Magic Wand tool to select shapes from our drawing. Create a new layer with the texture that has the selected shape. Then add brightness and contrast to create highlights and shadows. After you've created all the shapes that compose our drawing, use the color balance adjustment to give different tones to each shape. As we saw before, you can also use the lasso tool and the pen tool to add details to the highlights and shadows. link on the top right to continue watching this tutorial. You can download this free image by going on my website. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and stay tuned for more videos.